date?
May 3rd.
The 3rd. The 3rd. 2 days before Cinco de Mayo. That's big celebration time.
The day after your birthday.
Yeah, so my birthday was yesterday. We're all together today, just hanging out in the backyard, gonna enjoy 3 cigars.
This is Christopher. I don't know if you watched our first installment, but he's joined us today. So we upped our production quality, so hopefully the quality of the video will be a little bit better. So we kind of got the same type of cigar. Christopher's is a little bit smaller. Which one you got, Christopher?
I have the H. Upmann Half Corona.
Oh, that's a nice little stubby there. I got this box off of Bon Roberts in a little auction thing. It's 2017 Mille Fleurs, little Partagas, just packed, well constructed, nice and even color, minimal veins, visible seams. Tyler?
I've got that good old Romeo y Julieta.
Classic.
Oh, that's the number 2.
Number 2?
Yeah, the number 2. I got a box of those, and I probably smoked 5 of them. They're smoking phenomenal. I think the Upmann is a 2019. This one's 2017, and that one is 2019. So they're a little young, but they're smoking great. I haven't smoked the bad one yet. Well, I take that back. I think I touched on a Cohiba I smoked. It was Siglo 2. It was a little tannic, but other than that, it was fantastic. So guys, let's cut them.
Yes, sir.
I think this one's a little stiff though, so okay, work it out.
Oh, this one's, yeah.
Oh, this thing's drawn great. Great draw right here.
Just the dry hit on this. It's nice.
We all gassed up here, Tyler?
Yes, sir.
Single torch. Little toast. Let's get right to it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No, sputtering. That's all right. We got it back up. Good old soft flame. Retro. No, not a tinge in the retro hail. Just as smooth as can be. Mm-hmm. Man, this thing, it is phenomenal. You could, I guess, age does matter. Nice little pepper.
I'm getting a lot of pepper out of St. Chapman too.
A lot of pepper.
Real peppery. A little bitterness and real Maduro notes. Nice.
It's pretty light compared to the last cigar I smoked with you.
Real Partagas?
No, the one that was not on video.
Oh yeah, we did.
That was dark.
Yeah, we did.
Definitely lighter.
It's just smoking up a storm. It's like a freight train.
Get a lot of smoke out of it. Yeah,
thick,
that's a good
great
little cigar.
mouthfeel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of mouthfeel, what happened to your forehead right there?
Okay, so I don't know if you could tell, but you know, got a little cut right there. Me and my brother over here, we went out to the pistol range today, and I just set up my my 380. I put a new sight and laser on it, and I guess I didn't attach the sight well enough. About the fourth shot in, it decided to eject it back, and it caught me right in the forehead, split my eyebrow open, and bled all over the range. But we still shot the rest of the box at 50. So
Did the sight break?
no, the sight's fine. It's just I didn't have it screwed in all the way, I guess.
The cost of ammunition is incredible
Oh
now.
man, I was spending $18.99 on some really nice, like either Winchester, Remington, ball ammo, full metal jacket, and now it's $50 a box. So going from spending less than 30 cents a round to spending $1 a round is insane.
And I shoot 45.
Oh,
So-
40! I can't even imagine how much
bad that
45
is
is a box.
So how $50 a box and how many rounds?
50 rounds.
So it's $1 a round.
Yeah, that's what I was
Mine
paying
was
for my critical defense.
$1 a round.
Yeah. Yeah, for
Before-
the critical
Before
defense
the COVID thing.
hollow points, or even my Grizzly Plus Ps, my penetrating plus rounds were $1 a piece, and now they've gone up. A box at 25 is $50. If you could find a box at 25 with hollow points.
That translates across the board. Personally, $50 is not bad if you're buying a box of cigars.
Oh yeah.
But
I mean, if you're
same
a
thing
cheap
with
cigar.
it's the same thing with the cigars. Even if you wanted to pay the exorbitant price for a box of cigars, you can't find the cigars.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they are gone, and I think that, of course, that has to do with the pandemic. They're probably not making them at the same rate they were making them.
They probably have half the staff, so everyone's distanced
Yeah.
and everything.
And the same thing. So everybody is buying these up. There's only limited supply. They just announced a 5% across the board price increase on Cuban cigars. So it's the same thing with ammunition. I'm sure when the pandemic started, everybody was buying ammo, right? They can't manufacture it at the same rate they were manufacturing. So by this time now, the supply is dwindled, and then you're paying $50 a box. I mean, I'm totally speculating here, but it's simple economics.
Well, you could
really.
you could do the same thing with cars even right now. Most of these new cars aren't even coming off the lot because most of their products depend on chips made in China or in Japan or in Taiwan and everything. Like these really hard-hit countries, and a lot of their electronics come from there, and so they can't build cars as fast as they used to. If you look, my buddy just bought his Honda Civic, had a $3,000 dealer markup on a Civic, spent almost $30,000 on a Civic, and that was just the sport hatch. And if you were to go for the Type R, which they only were able to make 200 of for that last year, they're selling them for $75,000.
What?
A $30,000 dealer markup.
On a Honda.
On a Honda.
That's incredible.
And they're not making them. It took him 6 months to find the option car that he wanted.
Are these American-made Hondas, or are they import Hondas?
They're made in America. They're
But
made
they
out in
can't get the
Ohio.
components.
They can't get the components from overseas.
Oh man. I didn't know that.
So most of these chips are made in China, Taiwan, Vietnam, Japan, and all that, and they can't get these specific little electronic components. So there's half-built cars sitting in the factory right now. They just can't finish it, and it's everyone's suffering right now from this.
Tyler, how's the burn on your Romeo? Oh, yeah.
Really.
It's coming out a little wonky, but
they worked themselves out on those Upmann. I noticed
Yeah.
that too. I'm a little. I'm not sharp as a razor here. It got a little wonk, but it's working itself out. No retouching. Nice white ash with a little gray in it. really a great smoke so far. And same typical Cuban hay and grass, little pepper. We'll see what it does halfway through. I can definitely tell you though that this is a lot smoother than a younger cigar because primarily I've been smoking 2018, 2019, 2020 cigars. These are the first 2017 cigar I've had, and you can tell that the little extra years made a difference on it. Not that the younger ones are bad. All the regular production I've smoked has been fabulous. Um, so, like I said, I don't have the luxury of a Cohiba Siglo 06, but I'm sure if I did get my hands on a few, I would let them sit a bit instead of trying to smoke it too soon. There's a little bit to be said about letting it sit around for a while before you smoke it up. But obviously, I haven't been smoking them too long. But smoking them long enough to know that when it takes a $30, $40, $50 New World cigar to get the same type of burn and smoke out of a standard production Cuban cigar.
Yep.
I do know that. I mean, and I feel like the cigar smoking public, especially in the U.S., has been a little ripped off. I mean, I wish more people knew, or at least the relationships when it comes to this type of commodity was a little more, friendlier for us to able to get this a little easier. I don't know, maybe more scarce if it was easier to get them. I don't know.
Everyone would start buying them up real quick.
I am a little disappointed. I was bidding on that box of Punch 2017 on Bon Roberts, and in the last 10 minutes, man, it shot right up. And it was at 285 with about 15 minutes to go, and it went from 215 to 285, which told me there's 4 or 5 guys on it, and I can only go so far. I'm trying to buy it for myself. I got a coworker, and we'll have him on here as a special guest that we do box splits on, and he already committed to splitting the box if that box got out of hand. But I don't want to obligate him, so. And another box will come along, so I'm not going to go all in on that
one box.
Yeah, on that punch. I mean, if it was Lusitaneous, now, yeah, I had a couple of those, and those things are on fire. You can't even get a box of Lusitaneous. A cab of 50 is $1,000. I just, it's insane, but I get it. Those are wonderful cigars.
So we had to true this up a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Started running a little bit too much on one end, so straighten her out just a little bit. Just give it a little bit of help.
I'm starting to get a little
good white ash. It's kind of getting a little bend to it. Burning really crisp though.
The retro is getting a little spicy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting a little transition. It's heating up a little bit. Other than that, fairly light cigar. Not a lot of complications to it. Pretty straightforward, but highly enjoyable. Super smooth. It's really leaving a good finish. I'm quite enjoying this. Not just the cigar, but the company and nice carbonated soda.
It's I don't know. There's not much of a flavor change you can get out of a half Corona, but
When you get back to there, right at the band, it'll heat up.
yeah. But it's the band's starting to get a little bit warm right now. Get more those like hay, grassy we're talking about.
Yeah. A lot of people.
More pepper. I mean, it's got a really really dark ash to it. So it's
A lot of people don't know how to describe it sometimes. Hay or grassy or barnyard, but that signature note you're getting that you don't know how to describe. That's what they mean by grassy or barnyardy, or it's not like a New World cigar. It's just it's a particular type of flavor and taste that's only found in these types of.
I mean, it's nice. Going back to the mouthfeel and everything. I mean, it's coating the mouth.
So let me. I'll touch on. I went to Palm Springs last weekend for 4 days. I went to my boss, the owner of the company, took us on a President's Club or incentive trip or whatever. We hit some number. We had to wait until the COVID opened up here. I don't know what part of the country you may be watching this from, but here in California, we're about, they say 25% open, but when I was at Palm Springs, they were open, man. Those bars were packed. Anyway, we went and played golf, and it was, I was with my coworker and his friend from Orange County, and it was a cigar extravaganza. I smoked 6, 7 cigars, and then my boss pulls out and he's a member of this club in La Quinta called the Hideaway, and I mean this golf course is like no other golf course I've seen. Actually, it was 2 courses, and he had a room in that clubhouse with a cabinet tower style humidor, and within that humidor were like 150 count desktop humidors. There was probably 25 of them in there. They all had their names engraved on them. My boss had full of number 2s, man. So we smoked the Monty number 2s. He gave me one for the road. I did Bellicosa Fino. Smoked Epicure Especial, 2 Ramon Alones, another Romeo and Juliet number 2. Those were fabulous. Did the half Coronas. So this is kind of but this is my first Mille Fleurs. We all were gonna smoke one, but I figured, well, we can't really give our a little review if we're all smoking the same cigar. And the next one we'll do, I just recently ordered some Robustos, 10 Robustos, and one of them is a Schwa Supreme, and a couple of Cohibas in there. It was like this flash sale thing they sent me. So our next review will be a Robusto one, and we'll all have a nice Robusto, a different Robusto, and they're little. You got some age on them, and but for now these are smoking real good, and they're not an hour long like our last video. We're trying to shorten them up.
Some quick midday smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Evening smoke.
We were gonna do it yesterday on Tyler's birthday, but Christopher had to work, so we wanted him involved in. We wanted to make sure that he was able to join us today. He recently had to rebuild the engine on his Honda. Replace the engine on his Honda. He's got well, I'll let him tell you about it, but it's like a little Honda Fit, little customized car.
It's a 2012 Honda Fit. Just got an engine from built in Japan. Put it in there. Cost a couple grand. Replaced everything that I could replace on it, and running, driving all good. Just put in a new suspension, lower 8-inch braces, struts, everything. Got new wheels and tires here pretty soon, and should be done throwing money at it after that.
Yeah. This thing is one of a kind. You would never think that you would customize a Honda Fit, but this guy did it. It looks great. It looks really good.
Gotta do a little rally car look.
Exactly it. Yeah, huh? It does look like a rally car, huh? Yeah, I'm getting a little It's changing up a little bit here in the about the start of the second, third. Still burning fairly straight. Still nice and smooth. Cool smoke, cool smoke. Not hot at all. Retro, like I said, picked up a little bit. Um, I'm really enjoying it. It's not going as fast as I thought either. Oh,
It is packed. That is a very, very tight, very packed cigar. Very little air gaps. Still got a nice draw to it though.
yeah. This
It's burning a little bit slower than normal. This wasn't packed too much. It's got a little bit of quite a bit of give to it.
And now that it's warming up, it's going to get a little softer.
Oh yeah, but
that thing looks like it's just burning right along, man.
that thing is just
rock solid.
looking nice.
Go ahead and knock this chunk off here.
Nice tight draw all the way through. My tongue's starting to settle into the flavors of it. Less pepper, everything's starting to mellow out and get garlic oils.
Yeah,
That's nice.
I do have some younger cigars that aren't even a year old, so I guess I'm going to give them at least a year.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if you have any thoughts or comments, you feel free to comment below.
Getting right down to the final.
See, with me, that's not even halfway. Well, I'll smoke it down there.
Smoke it down to your teeth.
Yeah, I had an old pair of pliers there. If you look up, I'm on a Facebook group, and I try to make like a little video or picture diary of what I'm smoking, and post up some tasting notes. But I was using a pair of wire dikes. I like saying that word, wire dikes.
We were out here working on
Take up
the
that
pool
little
together.
piece right there before it gets caught up.
Here, I'll use this one.
Yeah, the psycho one's a little stiff.
Well, I haven't really. Well, we got a nice cutter. We just didn't bring it out because
I think it's on top of the humidor or something. Can't be bothered for it.
Well, it's just sometimes with the V cut on the Cubans, it kind of clogs up.
Honestly, I tried it, that was fine.
Yeah.
And this is.
How about on that big one?
This is pretty good too.
On that custom Aldo you smoked, the last one we smoked.
That ain't a straight cut.
You had straight cut it on the big one. It wouldn't even. It just made a little nick in it.
I didn't try it. I don't think I tried it.
With
I
the
didn't think
V?
I messed with that. I
No.
don't think I even bothered. Yeah, this one is kind of similar to the one we did in the first review, where it's like a nice tight draw, but still really smooth, and it's not obstructed in any way. You can tell it's still flowing just fine.
Yeah. So, getting back to Palm Springs, we shot a round of golf. I'm just good enough to have fun. Obviously, other guys take it way seriously. It was the first round of golf I ever did where I had or what they called a four caddy. This guy would go out into the fairway and, spot your ball. Then when you drive up, he'd tell you the yardage and make a recommendation. So the game went along pretty, we had to play at a good pace, ready golf. Usually it takes me about 5.5 hours, play a round of golf. I think we did it in just at 4, maybe right under 4. It was a quick round of golf, but it really makes a difference. And they wiped the clubs every time. They gave us these little cool towels that were like dipped in mango water for the back of our necks. It was,
straight out of the freezer.
Right. And then I was all like, I asked, I said, hey, what's the membership dues here? And they were telling me, it's only $2,400 a month. And I'm like, only $2,400? And they go, but the membership is $60,000 annually. And the thing with Palm Springs, it's only open from October to May, because after May it's too hot. It's too hot to golf. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like doing the math. 7 times 24, right? You're looking at 14 plus the 60. You're looking at $75,000
a year
for that season to be a member at this club. Crazy.
Who was your caddy?
His name was Harold. He caddies for the season in Palm Springs,
Mm-hmm.
and then he flies overseas and he plays on the European tour. But the caddy is like a professional golfer. But he was saying that he makes like most of his money
Being a caddy.
being a caddy. Yeah.
Tips. And,
Yep.
I mean, he gets cashed out. What was he making?
Well, he charged. There was 5 of us in our group,
Mhm.
and it was $50 a person,
Mm-hmm.
plus everybody tipped him too.
So he made at
He
least
probably made $500.
yeah,
out of-
$500 on a 5-hour day.
Right, and he probably does that twice a day.
Oh,
Yeah,
fantastic.
Good gig. That's a good gig.
That's a good gig.
yeah. Could
Definitely better than delivering pizza.
or until he wins a tour event, and he gets really paid. But
Mm.
yeah, I had no idea golf was our members only clubs operated at a level like that. Every time I think I know what wealth is, and then when you actually experience it, people that really have it. Don't get me wrong. I would love to be wealthy, but you think, oh, that guy's probably got this much money, and then in fact they probably have 5 times more than you can imagine they have. It's never less, in my experience. Yeah. So, guys, I hate to break it to you, but we're not going to be a member of that club.
Yeah. Totally fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I mean, I hope I aspire, but until then, we're
I like my club right here.
club Casa
de Farnum.
de Farnum. Yeah.
Yeah. Casa de Farnum. You know, I have this regular at work. Bob comes in and drinks all the time, and he was asking me about, like, what does the last name mean? I don't really know.
It's Welsh.
Welsh? Okay.
Yeah.
So he said, oh, what is Farnum really? I said, well, I don't know. He said, Farnum. And he said, kind of like Barnum and Bailey's. And it got me thinking, like,
Yeah.
great-grandpa Lockhart, right?
No, that's grandma's
Yeah.
side. It was so really my grandfather, Jim Farnum, obviously he's no longer with us. I didn't know his ancestral lineage, but my grandmother, Evelyn Farnum, I met my great grandparents. They're Illinois. They're from Illinois. I was just a small boy, and my great grandfather, his name was Dufour. Actually, it was Emile Louis Dufour, and he spoke very little English. Just spoke French. And my father, his name was Emile Louis. So there's a French Welsh side. And then my mother was from Stevens Point, Wisconsin, and her mother, they're very Polish. And then my mother's father, his name was Lockhart. He was Irish, and I think he had a little Indian in him. Maybe someday I'll do a DNA search, but until I secure that the Chinese aren't hacking my DNA, I think I'll keep it to myself. But yeah, we're a little mixed bag there. French, I know for sure. I met the guy; he was French, but French Canadian. I believe they came in ancestrally. I think that they came in through Canada, and then from Canada down into Illinois, which it's Illinois, the Frenchest state there is next to Louisiana. So I think they came down from Canada. That's how he got there. I don't think he came over from France. I think he came down from. There's a city in Canada that speaks French. I believe it's Quebec.
Yeah.
It's all French.
I believe cigar runneth dry.
What? Pull the band off. Put the torch to it again. You still got. You're barely halfway there.
Got a fork over here.
Mine's still cool smoke. Still cool smoke. Still mild.
Have to rip the band, unfortunate. The glue is a little bit too strong.
That's handmade for you.
There's a little bit of bluing around the tobacco. I don't know if you can notice that or not. Lightning of the tobacco.
Pretty good burn on it.
What do you mean, like bluing?
I kind of wiped it. There.
Oh yeah. It's where the oils are coming through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chris looks like he's lighting a blunt.
Never smoked. I've never done that. That's not just because my father's here, but
No, I know. That's why I made a joke.
I'm a drinker.
A Pepsi.
A Pepsi. Oh, I got my beer right here.
A&W. Reminds me.
Oh yeah.
Now you're going. See?
Definitely.
Got a little stronger.
Oh. All the oils resting in the cap.
Yes, sir.
Burning throughout. I'm getting a little bit of oh. Go one more.
Whoa.
Let's say like a popcorn almost.
Oh, popcorn. That's a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
Yep. You're right on the money.
Yeah, a little bit of popcorn at the end there. I mean, it's really softening up right now. Everything in this last little nub is getting super loose. Wrapper's still holding in place fairly well. One little lift right here, but that should sat back down. I don't touch it too much. Going back to what would that be? Our great grandpa, Mel. What was he? The tightrope?
No, that was Grandma.
Oh, that was Grandma's.
Grandma's. So my papa on my mother's side, he grew up during the Depression, and he was a circus performer in Chicago. Him and his partner used to walk tightrope, and they would dress up in like an elephant suit and walk like it looked like an elephant was walking on a tightrope. He was also he also did like the rings exhibition on the rings. I remember when I was I don't know, I think I was 11 or 12 years old.
Fairly young.
Yeah, he had this rope, right, tied up in a tree, you know, and I might be able to do it today. He taught me how to climb a rope. But the secret to climbing a rope is you got to exert enough strength to get up the rope, but you have to save enough strength to get down the rope.
Or else you lose the skin on your
right,
hands.
You're
gonna fall right back down. Like, okay,
So-
how do I get down from here?
So, you know, I could only go up 5 or 10 feet maybe, and then my uncles, they couldn't go up much higher. And then my, at that time, he was in his late 60s maybe, you know, 65 maybe. He went up that rope all the way to the top and all the way down in a matter of seconds, and he did it, and his legs were perfectly, like, parallel, right? It wasn't like he had his legs dangling below him. He had like an L shape, and he went hand over hand like that, just with his upper body strength. Yeah, he was a tough old dude, man. But unfortunately, and like most people of his generation, they smoked cigarettes like one right after the other, and it caught up to him. But he knew, I guess, you know, people of that generation know that there's some sort of health risk involved but they're like, they had a mentality of, oh well, you only live once and you go when you go. So, he went fairly young, and what I mean by fairly young, I think he was not quite 70. Um, so, not to be depressing, but he was an awful talented guy. I do know that.
Oh.
Well, luckily, cigars don't do that.
Right. Well,
Surgeon General would say otherwise, but
right.
who cares what she has to say?
Go with your girl there?
I believe so. I believe, before Biden came in, Donald Trump had appointed a woman.
I thought it was the guy that said wear a mask. He did the PSA announcements.
Oh, maybe he got switched over.
Pretty smooth in the whole.
Yeah, Tyler, you got yours going.
Yeah, mine's
I'm lagging behind.
kind of.
I think it's because I'm doing all the talking. I'm doing all the talking.
I'm just enjoying the cigar, honestly.
Oh, it is. It isn't. Since March 25th, 2021, so they did change him.
Yeah, it's Vivek Murth. Vivek Murth.
Murthy.
Vivek Murphy.
Murth with a TH.
I'm gonna have to write him an email.
Hey, man.
What's the deal with the cigars? What's our risk factor? According to the stickers on the box, I'm gonna get cataracts. I'm gonna get birth defect lesions.
Jaws are gonna rot off.
The balls shrivel the raisins and drop off.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what are the choices, right? Give up cigars or give up
Manhood.
Oh, you gotta think about it. I gotta think about it.
Ooh.
Retro's still smooth. Got a little pepper in there. Final third. Still burning nice and straight. Starting to pick up a smidge, not a lot. Not like a Bolivar or a HDM, but very good smoke, very good. And the price was right, I got it for like what I think I paid like 115 or something on the auction site. Box of 10. Even though I think a box of 10 online is like $50, but they've been sitting around 4 years. And, I had been on.
That's someone's time right there you're paying for.
That's someone's time, holding on to it.
Yeah, I'd been on like 7 or 8 other boxes of cigars, and I just keep, I set a limit, I stick to it, and at the last minute, someone bids $5 more, $10 more. One time I was bidding on a box of small club Coronas, right? They were Ramona Lonas. They were probably 8 years old, right? And I was around 200 and something bucks, and a new box of those. That's about what they're going for. The box sold for $500.
Oh, was it a new box or was it aged?
It was an aged box, yeah.
How old?
I think it had like 8 years on it.
Oh,
maybe,
yeah.
Or, not like anything other than not some crazy age on it, but I was just like, wow, I had no clue, that people were willing to fork it out like that. And they weren't. I mean, from my experience, right? Lusitanias, HDM double Coronas, Punch double Coronas, Ramona Lones Giantes, the aged boxes of these Monte Cristo number 2s and these Amundos and these double Amundos. I definitely can see the value of $900, $1,100 for those. I mean, if I had the means, I would be right there with them, man. But anything below a Robusto going for $500, $600, $700, I don't know. Maybe I'm not and you know, as well versed as I should be, but that just seems like an awful lot of money for such a little smoke.
Mm-hmm.
And age is great and all, but wow. But again, obviously, uh, the rarity of it because it's so hard, you know, to get them here, or the trouble you have to go through to get them here. And somebody else has gone through all that for you and stored it, and they're reputable. That goes a long way. And maybe I need to reanalyze the value of that, but still, it's a crazy amount of money. So real quick, I want to touch on a couple of things I noticed with online retailers. Cigar One, right? Even though the stock is real low, but the production cigars that they do have, the regular production cigars they do have, I find I'm able to get them at a good, reasonable price. There's another site that's a Monte Fortuno, Fortuna. You know, it just seems like the same box of cigars is quite high. Pardon my little dog there. She's noticed a squirrel or something. Trying to tell somebody this is her turf. Yeah, but that same box of cigars is 2 times the amount, you know, or you can't get a box for less than, you know, high 3s or low 4s. I noticed that as well as a site I found called Bellhop, and I don't know the authenticity of that. The Cigar One, I definitely know they're authentic. Also, I Havanas, very competitive, good price, good availability. I always recommend that. But Monte Fortuno, I think. Well, I'm not just picking out that one. Cuban Luz, Top Cubans. I think you just need to do your due diligence. Get out on social media. Try to find a group to be a part of. That has been the biggest benefit to me at this point. If I have a question or a concern, I just make a post, and it's answered intelligently and respectfully in that group. There's a real brotherhood there when it comes to Cuban cigars, and if you're really interested in that, or you want to try um, uh, to acquire Cuban cigars that are authentic and real, there's a big resource there on social media. I can, if you want to email me or reach out to me, and I can kind of help you offline, you know, where to go and who to talk to see if you can become a member. I'm not the administrator. I can't, you know, but the way I got in was watching another guy talk about cigars on YouTube, kind of the same way I'm, right? And he does the features, but his features are far and few between. But boy, when it comes out, you guarantee I'm watching that thing for every minute. I may watch it twice, 3 times, you know. But part of the pleasure of smoking a Cuban cigar is knowing that you have a real Cuban cigar.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone through the experience of smoking one, thinking it was real, and then finding out it wasn't real.
You could tell. You were able to tell.
Yeah, it's not a good feeling. And one, you want a real Cuban, and you want to experience that, right? Then the disappointment of finding out it's not real, and then the third disappointment of like, fuck, I'm out the money.
$100.
Yeah. So
$100 for the.
Yeah, and I'm a fortunate one. I didn't go out and go, yeah, give me the Bahique.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? I mean, wow. You know. So, and I always encourage you to enjoy it with good company. It's very rare I smoke one on my own, by myself. I just don't find sitting there alone, just puff, 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 as pleasurable as I do when I smoke with my boys, or one of my friends, or of course in Palm Springs, right? Wow, you know, what a great environment. Uh, it wasn't just the golf. We went out the San Andreas Fault Line.
That dog
Is that our dog?
yeah. Sapphire.
So I took off the band. Still nice and pretty straight on the burn. It's changed now. I'm getting it on the tip of my tongue. I like how Christopher said it. Popcorn. I'm not getting popcorn. I'm getting more of a spice. I'm not going to say baking spice, but I'm going to say in that family, not like a hot spice like cumin or anything like that, but just a little bit on the tongue, mild. Still not medium, maybe the edge of medium, the front edge of medium bodied, nowhere near full. Not like a Bolivar or a Super Partagas. Those are kind of strong. The Super Partagas, I recommend them. You get halfway through that thing and it's a full bodied cigar, and it burns great. Those are smoking really well. That Romeo is probably a medium. Romeo number 2. Those are smoking really well. Those were
Clean all
yeah.
the way through.
I know and it's an inexpensive cigar, but if you want a good 40-something minute smoke and not to be disappointed, I recommend them. I really do.
To touch back on what we were saying.
Get a little darker.
Yep.
About
I was about to say probably. Yep. There we go.
To touch back on what you were saying earlier about the price, you would have to buy, like you said, a $40 New World
Oh, yeah.
cigar to
Oh,
get
yeah.
the same quality.
Hey, nothing against New World cigars. It just the hobby is price conscious, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all know it, right? Me and Tyler and Christopher, right? We all have our own money, our own income, and a lot of it is dedicated to outside of operating costs of your life.
Yeah.
Disposable income wise, it's a hard thing to do to say shell out $400 for a box of New World cigars just to be like underwhelmed,
Right.
when I can get 2 boxes of Cuban cigars and be like, damn.
It's a really nice cigar.
And if it isn't all that great, guess what? I could just leave it in my humidor another 6 months, smoke another one. Hey, it got better. Another 6 months, year. Hey, these are smoking great now. That's the benefit to it.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy it. It's not that expensive of a hobby. And again, if you have the means and you know where to get real bahikis, then go get them. I would love to have one, 2, 10, whatever.
The whole box.
But a man's got to know his limitations, right? Who said that? Dirty Harry, right? Yeah. The man's got to know his limitations.
Right.
If you establish that baseline and you're like, okay, I can afford this, I can afford that, I always recommend you have a variety, smoke one, see how it is. Not go to another one, or invest in an older box, right? Smoke 1 or 2 of those and then go back to the other box.
Or if you can't afford one, age it yourself. Pick up a few yourself.
I do have some good New World. I have this guy, Father's Day, 2 years ago?
Yeah, you've been sitting on it.
Yeah,
Opus.
Fuente, double Corona, Opus.
Mm-hmm.
I still have it.
It was it was more than $40. I believe it was closer to 60.
Yeah, they're about $60 at our cigar shop.
And
I bought a second one about 3 months ago, so I didn't have to smoke his just yet, but I really want to smoke one.
We'll probably do that when we get some
We'll do
full
it.
Coronas or double Corona Cubans. Then
I have them.
compare it. Oh.
I have punch double Coronas.
Oh, so we could probably do a comparison between the
I do.
the punch double Corona and a Magnum.
Well, let me get the Lusitanias. That way we could do an Opus X, a Lusitanias, and a punch double Corona. I'm trying to get these HTM double Coronas too. They're really, really good cigars. I haven't had an HDM double Corona, but if they're anything like the Punch and the Partagas, we're on the right track, guys, and that would be a special treat. You can get that. I could get the HDM in a on an online group I'm involved with. It's like 20, $25. You buy five, it's $100 for five of them, right? But they're super young,
Hmm.
right? They're not even a year old,
So it wouldn't be worth smoking.
right. But if I don't
Quite a
move,
while.
right? But I'm gonna tell you in the next couple of weeks, I'm probably gonna try to move on some before they're gone, right? The older they get, the quicker they'll go, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, I think that our next video, our next episode will be double Corona. I'm also gonna see what the the YouTube rules are, and we might do a firearm review. We'll do a review of Tyler's firearm, but I don't know if you can put it on the video or whatever. I mean, I guess, right?
It's a cigar channel.
But we're doing cigars, right?
Yes.
I just want to touch on some lifestyle things and what me and my sons are interested in, and
Hmm.
you know, uh, a lot of people have different hobbies and different lifestyles and different political views and things of that nature. But I'm in my 50s. My sons are in their 20s. We still can come together as a bonding relationship type of thing without external forces or whatever the media calls it,
Hmm.
right? Invading our relationship. I know some families struggle. I got a brother in Texas. It's hard for me to talk to him on the phone. I love him so much. Um, but me and him, I have different views, and the conversation always starts out like two brothers would be, but then kind of devolves down into this argument of his view against my view, and it it's because
Divided.
yeah. So hopefully, if you're watching this, just a little inspiration to know that hey, we're all the same. Yeah,
We can still shoot the shit.
right. We can shoot the shit. Good. Well said. Well said, sir. Well said. It doesn't always have to be about what this world's coming to. Oh my God. I've been around a long time. My father, he'd been around a long time. He taught me certain values and certain ethics. And if you just hold to them, man, you don't got to live by them religiously. You just adhere to certain things, and you'll find that your life, your family becomes a lot more enjoyable.
Hmm.
I mean, I've been married a long time too. I mean, it's not just the relationship with my sons. Love my wife as well. She allows us to come out here and smoke cigars.
We gotta tell her to stay inside
Tell
for
her
an
stay
hour
inside.
or so.
Yeah. We'll bring her out here. You'll see.
Anything
get
else
it.
you want to add before we sign off?
Mm-mm.
Wine everything on the cigar.
Just a recap. Mille Fleurs, 4 years old, mild all the way through, slight spice at the end, good construction, quality cigar. Nothing. If you're into a strong cigar, you know, different Vitola of Partagas is probably your best bet. But as far as this market goes, uh, I'd rate it at 89 on a scale of 1 to 100. What do you think about your number two?
Started off really light. Was constructed well. Was pretty tight draw, but obviously good smoke production all the way through. Towards the middle, started to heat up more, get a little bit more oily in the roots. Towards the end, it really picked up with all the flavor, and the wood started to get really heavy, filling my mouth. Really enjoyed it.
Oh, that sounds nice. What about you, Mr. Upmann?
It started out kind of mild, not too easy with it. A little bit of pepper on the tongue. About halfway through it, I noticed it started to heat up a little bit. It had started out with a decent amount of heat, but as it got closer to the tail end, it got pretty hot, it was running a little bit on one end. I had to touch it up a couple times. The wrapper was still good. Never unfurled. Had a really, really wide open draw. A lot of smoke production, which was what I liked. But I feel like that might have been one of its downfalls because it burned a little bit faster than I'd like, and somehow managed to go out once. But maybe that's user error, not hitting
No,
much.
no.
A little bit of everything.
They
all
do
comes
it.
into play.
Here's
You talk it out too when you got
Right.
good company.
Exactly.
so if you were gonna rate that 1 to 100, you're in the
I'd-
low 80s.
79 to 83.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. See, fair enough.
Right near the end. I mean, touching on what Tyler said, the oils were super dense, very, viscous. I could feel it in the smoke, and it was really nice. It got real heavy at the end, and I wouldn't call it like a full-bodied cigar, but it touched up there once you got down to the end, and it was nice.
Good to hear. That's the best part about smoking cigars. Not every cigar is a winner. I watch a lot of reviews. It seems like every Cuban cigar is a great cigar. Not everyone is it, but if you don't go out and smoke one of these and one of those, you're never going to know. So do yourself a favor. Look into it. If you're a New World smoker and you love them, stick with it. Well, if you go over to the Cuban cigar side and you're exclusively smoking them, like I have been for the past several months, I go back to the New World. It's tough to compare because they're two separate cigars altogether.
Comparing a Connecticut leaf to a Cuban leaf to a DR leaf, I mean, they are three completely different plants. They may come from the same seeds, they may have the same origin, but they are three completely different plants.
For sure.
It is.
Well, and they're constructed differently.
The construction. You could tell that when you're smoking a Cuban, that you could feel in the draw and the construction of it is held normally to a higher standard than anything New World. And I mean, again, the tobacco, it might all be tobacco, but it's totally different. The tobacco you smoke in a Marlboro is nothing compared to the tobacco you're going to smoke in a Connecticut cigar, and that's nothing compared to something you'll smoke in a Cuban cigar.
All right.